What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the quartering. And what happens when everyone's fighting over you and you don't want any one of them? Well, that's how you end up with the Oliver Anthony situation, where he had to basically come out in a video and say, Republicans bad. I don't like that they're using my song. And then Republicans rebel against him. And now he has to come out and say, Joe Biden bad. If you actually listen to the lyrics of the song, they're not very complex. They're very clearly not about only Republicans. It's just clearly about government officials. But now he slams corporate news for painting him as a Joe Biden supporter and clarifies that he's against all corporate owned politicians, which is what I thought up front in the first place. But it's interesting now that he's been forced by mainstream news to come out and make this clarification. By the way, the whole political battle out there is exactly why I started coffeebrandcoffee.com. It's my roastery. We roast our own beans, fresh on demand, right here in the United States. We are completely apolitical. We don't care what our customers' views are politically. We just want to deliver you the best coffee, organic tea, and cocoa, real cacao cocoa imaginable. Our coffee is all available in whole bean and ground. We have something like nearly 20 flavors. We have cold brews, flavored cold brews, tons of different options for you. I hope that you'll check out Coffee Brand Coffee today. Use promo code The Quartering, one word, and you'll save on your first order. And guess what? If you don't like it, I'll give you all of your money back. Oliver Anthony slams corporate news for painting him as a Joe Biden supporter, clarifies that he's against all corporate-owned politicians. I'd say that we are the same in this way. I think that most people that watch my channel would agree with this. On Friday, Oliver Anthony, the singer known for his hit anthem Rich Men North of Richmond, addressed rumors put out by, quote, corporate news that he is a Joe Biden supporter after he posted a video roasting Fox News and the GOP candidates for talking about his song at Wednesday's debate, as well as trying to identify with him. And I can tell you this, I was there, and all the booths were playing the song nonstop. The Republicans co-opted it as their song, but I thought, even, as somebody I talked about in another video about this, that like the idea that this song wasn't about all fat cat rich politicians never was beyond really anybody who was listening to it. In a statement on his Instagram, Anthony said this would be his last post about politics on social media, but a quote from his video had been misquoted and misinterpreted that corporate news, parentheses, big surprise, is now trying to twist me as a Biden supporter. He writes, "This will be my last post about politics on social media. I apologize for beating a dead horse, but I just need to address this quote in my video earlier since it's being misquoted and misrepresented this evening. Corporate news, big surprise, is now trying to twist me into being a Biden supporter." Laughing emoji. The song has nothing to do with Joe Biden. It's a lot bigger than Joe Biden. Is referencing DeSantis' response to my song. He talks about needing to get Joe Biden out as if that would automatically solve all the problems. Biden is a big part of the issue, but it runs much deeper. Rich Men North of Richmond is about corporate-owned DC politicians on both sides. Though Biden's most certainly a problem, the lyrics aren't exclusively knocking Biden. It's bigger and broader than that. It's knocking the system collectively, including the corporate-owned conservative politicians that were on stage that night. Good night, everyone. Thanks again. This, again, like, I'm not a huge, I would say that song's more folky, but I'm not a huge, like, country music fan. In particular, pop country, which I wouldn't call this necessarily. But, I think that this, if he played like, I guess I'd have to listen to more of his music, but this is the type of dude that I would hang out with. It is not the idea, like, you hear people talking about the uniparty all the time, right? The uniparty. What is that? Well, it's this group of people in Washington that work together that aren't really against each other. They are Republicans and Democrats that are both a part of this, cut from the same cloth, that are the same type of person. During the debate, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis bashed Bidenomics when asked about why rich men north of Richmond is striking a chord with Americans. In a video on Friday, Anthony said it was funny seeing my song at the presidential debate because I wrote a song about those people. So far, to have them to sit there and listen to that, it cracks me up. The song's got nothing to do with Joe Biden. It's a lot bigger than Joe. The song is written about the people on that stage and a lot more. Not just them, but definitely them. After Anthony posted the video, corporate media sites pushed it to make it seem like he had, quote, condemned Republicans, as The Guardian put it, after they played and reacted to his song in the debate. Variety said he was clarifying his politics in the video and said he addressed the GOP debate question by saying rich men is written about people on that stage, not that he was addressing politicians on both sides. Similar coverage could be observed from the New York Times, essentially saying that first right-wingers were like, the conservatives were like, yeah, this is a song about Joe Biden. Then when he said, yo, player, like, this is actually not about that, the left was like, yeah, he was talking about Republicans. Neither of them, like, hilariously, neither one of them took even the minimum amount of work to look into, like, listening to the song for a second and realizing that it's coming from a place of feeling politically homeless, about feeling like these people in Washington aren't representing you. I mean, that's something that a lot of people can resonate with. If anybody, I would say that, this is what drives a lot of the support for Donald Trump, for example. I just think that you ultimately, and by the way, Trump isn't perfect either. And I'm sure that Oliver Anthony isn't going to come out and say he's a huge Trump guy either. During the video, he noted that he hates seeing the song weaponized. He added that I see the right trying to characterize me as one of their own. I see the left trying to discredit me, I guess, in retaliation. I mean, this song is a #1 hit, obviously. This is something he said, I don't support either side politically, not the left, not the right. I'm about supporting people and restoring local communities. This guy sounds like more like a libertarian, probably, or as many of you might say, lolbertarian. Fix the potholes. Now go breathe some fresh air and relax, please. I'm not worth obsessing over, I promise. I mean, this is the thing, like he's again, you see the Hollywood Reporter politicizing it, saying Oliver Anthony clarifies rich men north of Richmond message after song used at GOP debate, saying nothing to do with Joe Biden. It's so funny. Here you see Democratic Senator Chris Murphy rebukes the left for mocking rich men north of Richmond singer Oliver Anthony. I didn't even know they were. In a Substack post, Murphy observed that conservatives had celebrated Anthony as a working class hero. Many progressives had mocked him as yet another right-wing zealot. The senator remarked that both sides have politicized Anthony and his music, with the political establishment treating him as either with us or against us. I saw it somewhat differently. I think that so did many people outside of the political establishment, wrote Murphy, a progressive Democrat. For instance, probe the positive replies on social media to the song. You won't find rural white conservatives, but urban young black men too. Anthony's lyrics do not add much color to what he considers this new world to be, but the viral reaction to the song suggests more people have a pretty good idea to what he's referencing. Anthony's song is a lament for the working class he characterizes as kicked around too long. He sings rich men about working overtime hours for BS pay, high taxation, substance abuse, the self-deletion epidemic, and other social ills. There's a growing spiritual emptiness in the American life, in which profit matters more than character. Virtual connection has replaced real connection. Everything not nailed down has been turned into a commodity. And the personal meaning that comes from true economic agency has been stolen from millions of families. Based and true. This is one of those things where, like, I 100%, this is one of those things, like, look, there's a progressive Democrat probably not voting for any of his other policies, but he's right about this. And more people have to be able to do that. I talked about in the last video on this that everyone was trying to, make this about their side to self-validate their own beliefs, when hilariously the entire time he was talking about those same people. and that music transcends political tribalness, and that ultimately, if you're looking for, a musician whose music you like to then also, vote the same way you do, you're not really enjoying the music. You're not really living life. You're just this empty vessel that's always looking for yet another thing to fill it up. That's what music is supposed to do, but it's not supposed to. It's supposed to fill a void, but it's not supposed to be used as a political, a political tool, because that's not what this guy wanted. And who knows? I've seen some people say, "Oh, his 15 minutes is over." Maybe that's the case. I don't know. But what I do know is that this song was pretty decent, and I'm sure he's got hundreds of thousands of new fans if he wants them. He doesn't seem to really seek out the limelight or want it that badly. So it's going to be interesting to see how all this shakes out. But yeah, if you're looking around, sometimes what's the saying? If you're walking around and everything's, you think everyone else smells like garbage, maybe it's you, or whatever that saying is. And that's kind of how this, I think that's kind of a good way to look at this scenario. I hope you enjoyed this video. Enjoy music. Don't worry about what their political leanings are. Just enjoy it. I think that's best. We'll talk to you again real soon.